President Trump speaking from the White House lawn, where we are set to see a flag raising at any moment. He was just asked if he's moving closer to using a bunker-busting bomb to eliminate Iran's nuclear program. Here he is.
You've been answered questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? I may do it, I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. Two very simple words, a very simple, unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it, I give up, no more.
I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. The president knows the moment we are in as a nation, as an ally of Israel, who is systematically doing the world a favor by battering Iranian military and nuclear sites. And President Trump is putting America first with his actions, as he always does. In fact, today on full display is patriotism at the White House. We are at the ready for any movement there on a very special day for the president of who has been manning that construction team this morning. That's coming up with that. The president is reportedly seriously considering joining Israel's bombardment of Iranian nuclear facilities. You just heard him say no one knows exactly what he'll do, but it is fully his decision. The stakes are high for the United States. Our military could take out a key Iranian nuclear site buried deep into a mountain, and that decision carries some political risk as well. At the same time, Iran's supreme leader is showing no signs of backing down.
The Iranian nation will not surrender to anyone in the face of imposition. The Zionist enemy has made a big mistake, committed a big crime, and must be punished, and is being punished. The damage America will suffer if it makes a military intervention in this field will undoubtedly be irreparable.
And in the capital city, Tehran, the streets are quiet and empty after the president and Israel warned residents to evacuate. They listened. One Associated Press journalist said they only saw a handful of pedestrians in the city. Here's General Jack Keane.
If we walk away and leave those sites intact, then the Ayatollah will be able to achieve what he's always wanted here. Assist the Israelis in their air campaign using penetration bombing to eliminate the end of that nuclear end state. And that will be a major strategic achievement.
However, one Trump administration official is telling Politico that no one the West Wing is talking about, or in the West Wing, is talking about regime change. Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy with more now. Peter, we have seen the president this morning on the lawn as they get ready to erect not one but two flags outside the White House.
Yes, and that'll be the excitement for the morning. But the president revealed that the next week concerning Iran could be very big, as he told us that some Iranian leaders could actually come here to the White House.
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did they say?
I said it's very late, you know? I said it's very late to be talking. They even suggested they come to the White House. It's a big difference. But they've suggested that they come to the White House. That's, you know, courageous.
But the president is in no rush to get the Iranians here, because he revealed he told Bibi Netanyahu to keep going with the strikes inside Iran. President Trump will not reveal his current thinking about striking nuclear targets, and his defense secretary was just asked about possible strike packages.
My question for you is whether you have been asked actively to provide options for the president regarding a strike in the Middle East.
If I had or I had not, I wouldn't disclose that in this forum, Senator. My job, our job, Chairman and I, at all times, is to make sure the president has options and is informed of what those options might be and what the ramifications of those options.
And the president was asked what his message is for Iran's supreme leader, who is refusing the unconditional surrender the president wants. The president said his message to the Ayatollah: good luck. Harris?
All right, Peter Doocy, thank you. A new op-ed titled "Why U.S. Must Destroy Iran's Fordow Nuclear Facility Now." And the argument is Fordow is not just another enrichment site. It is a fortified monument to Iran's deception and determination. The U.S. alone has the tools and the reach to destroy it. This mission, if undertaken, must be precise, overwhelming, and independently verified. History will judge our resolve. Let it be said that when the mountain hid the bomb, America shattered the mountain and proved it. Brett Velikovich, Fox News contributor, former Army Special Operations soldier, and former military intelligence. All right, let's start with Fordow. Not just the importance of it, but what's there, the structurally that only we can take out.
Well, structurally, Harris, it's one of the most difficult sites to penetrate. And so that's why likely the Israelis are asking for U.S. help. And I think, frankly, we need to do what we can to bomb the Iranians back to the negotiation table. Iran's hardliners need to be bombed back to the nuclear negotiation table. And there's a limited time for Israel to do this quickly, because doing nothing carries its own risk. If we don't use this opportunity to help them destroy that last remaining nuclear facility now while they're on the run, we may find them able to reconstitute their program, their nuclear ambitions, quickly after the smoke clears. And I hope the president understands that. And this whole debate about if it drags us into this larger war or not, listen, Iran already sees us as complicit. No matter what we do or don't do now, they will attempt to target U.S. interests in the future, whether U.S. assets strike them now or not. That's the bottom line. They've been at war with us for decades, even when we have not been at war with them. I mean, myself and other U.S. soldiers were deployed in Iraq to hunt ISIS and al-Qaeda, not Iran, but yet we found ourselves on the receiving end of weekly Iranian attacks. I was nearly killed by Iranian bombs. I've had close friends killed by Iranians. Many U.S. veterans are missing limbs because of Iranian bombs. And many of our bases now for years continue to be attacked. And we're the beacon of freedom for the rest of the world, Harris. This is one of those moments, I think, in history where we need to stand up for what's right, be on the right side of history, and it's time to help free the Iranian people, the majority of which has been oppressed for too long. And this is about wanting regime change, by the way. It's not just about nuclear weapons. I know people are saying they're not looking for regime change, but we're not going to be able to change that regime. That's the bottom line. Only the Iranian people can change that regime. But what we can do is give them the opportunity through military action to rise up and do something about it.
Just real quickly, I want to know about assessing this particular enemy. And you just gave us a lot of information and close calls and deaths, of course, of some of our military heroes along the way at the hands of Iran. What is it that happens globally, though, as the world looks at us and they're reaching out, the president's getting really tough? I mean, is there a stall that has to happen now in order to get this done? Or do you think Iran's just not even serious when it says it wants to talk to President Trump?
The Iranians are generally all talk. They are masters at manipulating speech. You're not going to out-talk or outspeak an Iranian. It's in their culture. They're masters at manipulating their words. But what we can do is more than talk. We can actually do action and execution, because talk in that region, it doesn't work. It's only a region that understands strength. And I don't think there needs to be this long-term Israeli military campaign. The Israelis just decapitated nearly Iran's entire military chain of command. I don't think we have to worry about that, this long protracted campaign, because I'm not even sure what that would even accomplish at this point, because there's barely anyone left at their leadership level to kill. Yeah. I mean, yesterday, Iran's new chief of staff of the military was killed. He held the position for only 4 days. Israeli spies have infiltrated nearly every part of that regime. Mossad spies are inside Iran, targeting leadership in their homes, and they've got the mullahs on the run. So we need to do whatever we can to help them reestablish deterrence, help them strike facilities. If they can't get to certain facilities, let's help them do that, and let's do it at a time when there's just not much time to finish this, and we should help them with whatever we can.
Yeah. So Brett, a lot of concern about what happens. You say regime change in the end. Well, who does fill in? Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince of Iran, had this to say about the Iranian regime. Watch.
Do you believe that this Iranian regime can be toppled?
Absolutely. It's just a matter of time. I believe that for 44 years. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. But now we have a tremendous opportunity.
Your thoughts, your reaction?
The problem and the mischief that we're seeing in Iran and around the world is not coming from the majority moderate Iranians or the Iranian people. The truth is, Iran and its people have the potential of being one of the biggest strategic allies to us in the region. The majority of the people want peace. The majority of people want a relationship with the West. The majority want to connect with the rest of the world, but they've been oppressed for decades, and it's time for them to take over. We are not going to create regime change and military action. It has to be the Iranian people, and hopefully we're giving them the time and space to do that.
One more thing, and it has to do with what we don't know about Iran right now. So they've got, potentially their most precious nuclear program protected inside that mountain, Fordow, so that if everything else gets hit, they're hoping, well, they can still go forward with a nuclear program. But what do they have that potentially we don't know about? I mean, they've been on the ground with Mossad. Israel has. We think they've been flipping assets to a great degree. We know that they have. But what gives them any sort of ground right now to say the words to President Trump that, the worst is yet to come, basically? I'm paraphrasing them.
I think it's all talk, and I think it's Persian pride in the end. I think that the Israelis have been doing an amazing job at being able to make Iran essentially defenseless at this point. You heard the president talk about us owning their airspace, and that's the reality on the ground. And the Iranian regime and the Ayatollah, and they need to understand that reality, and they need to come back to the nuclear negotiation table, or it's only going to get worse for them.